whether you know it or not, professionally, as a creator, you are being disrupted now. And the only outstanding question is whether it's you disrupting yourself or some other kid who doesn't have the loss aversion, doesn't have anything to lose, is naive, so they didn't know what convention and the blueprint looks like. They're currently killing you. So, like, doesn't it make a lot more sense? Like, isn't it much, like the bulldozer's coming, the driver is yet to be determined. I want to be the driver of my own bulldozer. And so we actually have another team called the Flight X team, which is in part of the experimentation team, part of the data science team, who are operating kind of like an island. And they're running things like the AI podcast experiments, where they're taking my voice, creating end-to-end podcasts using my voice, AI doing a lot of the transcripting, and then trying to see if they can beat the human shows that we have. And again, really remarkably, like you'd think, like most of you won't believe what I'm about to say, which is fine. But it took us about 9 to 12 months to get to the point where if I showed you all of the retention graphs of 2 human episodes, the Diary of a CEO and our AI one, you wouldn't know the difference. You wouldn't be able to tell me which one was AI based on the retention graph, because the same amount of people are getting to the end. And in innovation and through history, if you read books like The Innovator's Dilemma, the reason why people don't pursue the disruptive innovation like AI content creation is because it starts worse and none of your customers or audience are currently asking for it. So you ignore it. Like the horse and carriage CEOs in the 1800s ignored cars because none of their customers asked for cars. Why would they? They wanted more comfortable carriages, faster horses, stronger horses, and horses that had more power. But through history, whether you look at digging excavators or micro discs or the horse industry, the thing that kills you always starts worse and no one's asking for it. But the thing you have to look for is basically the rate and how much headroom it has to improve. And with AI podcasting, you go, how much headroom does that technology have to improve? Is it going to be cheaper than human podcasting? Is eventually it going to be better understanding what is retentive? Is it going to be faster to make? Am I going to have to build a studio, fly in a crew, or am I going to be able to make it maybe automatically within seconds? And so the headroom of growth is bigger. So you're really betting on the rate of improvement and the space for improvement. So, obviously I loved what I do. So I'm romantic like we all are about what I do. But I'm also like romantic about winning. And so you have to be less romantic about being right. And they're like very different things. Being right and winning are very different things. And you have to make sure that you're romantically attached to winning, not being right.
Romantic about winning?
Yeah, you have to be, or else you'll get caught up in, you'll hang on to the wrong horse.
Can you explain the difference between being right and winning?
100%. Okay, so I say this a lot to my founders in my portfolio, my investment portfolio. Being right is your initial hypothesis of how you either thought things would play out or you wanted them to play out is validated. And in my first company, a company called Woolpark, when I was 18 years old and dropped out of university, I had this very clear vision that students would use my student notice board on woolpark.com. And I was trying to figure out, I had no money, so I was trying to figure out how you drive traffic to a website. So I started all of these Facebook groups. More than a decade ago, for every single university. And when freshmen came to one of the universities in the UK, they would join my Facebook groups. And then, because I was so romantic about them doing it over on my website, I shut the Facebook groups and pinned a post and said, I know you guys are loving these Facebook groups, and there's a message every 10 seconds. Now go do it on my website. Okay, that's romance. And no one came. A couple of people came, but no one came. And so I reopened the Facebook groups again, and everybody started doing the thing, and then I'd shut them down and say, go to my website, and nobody came. Eventually, I ran out of money, this process of me trying to force people to do something they didn't want to do because I was romantic about the solution. I ran out of money. And so when I ran out of money, I thought, fuck it, shut down the website, and I will focus on social media. And it turned out that when I had no fight left in me, that built a really big business called Social Chain, which went on to become this big public company and made hundreds of millions in revenue and all those things. And it was when I gave up the fight of my own romance and preconception of what the right answer was. And, and this is kind of what I mean by AI, with the AI podcasting example. I'm going to be unromantic about the solution. If people want to get their information from an AI podcast, I'm going to be attached to what the customers want. Not what I want them to want. And they're very, very different things. I actually think most of you will need to go through a wall park style example that I've just described to truly understand how romantic we all are about our ideology and our identity and the university degree we got and how that makes us feel around our parents at Christmas time and how that anchors us in this identity, which then anchors us to these solutions, which can trap us and can mean that we don't see the correct answer when sometimes it's right in front of us. And like, I could make the case to you about how profound and disruptive AI is to everybody in this room. And some of you will believe it. And then there'll be another group of people that I think will go through the cognitive dissonance, which is a term that psychologists describe when new information conflicts with who you are and what you want to be true. And the psychologists have proven that you have to dismiss one of these things. You have to dismiss the new information or your own identity to create comfort. And it's very hard to dismiss or to rewrite your own identity. So the smoker who wants to be healthy, who's told that smoking is unhealthy, will say, yes, but smoking helps me with stress. Or yes, but. That's an attempt to alleviate. That's what most people will do. I've tried over time to be principled and not romantic.